Ian, first of all, we've just been talking to Carl Cameron. How pleased are you to have him back for the running?
Yeah, really pleased. Both him and Brins, I think they've been huge parts of the team, and some of the best games we've played, they've played key roles in that. So to not have them for quite a long period has been frustrating, and really good to get them back and increase competition in that area. And we know the qualities that both him and Brins have got that they can bring to the team.
Did you always feel that Kyle might make it before the end of the season, or was there a worry that he might miss the entire of the campaign?
No, I think when he first did it, our initial thought was it was similar to last time, so we weren't expecting it to be this long. But then after the scan, we obviously knew it was a little bit longer, but the medical team have done a good job with him, and we knew that if we did everything right and that each step went positively, that maybe these last 2 games of the season he'd be available for, and it's worked out like that, and it's ideal. I think, again, all being well in the next 2 games, we should be placed in the playoffs, and then it would have been a big ask for him to come with no game time straight into those sort of games. So it does give us an opportunity to maybe see where he's at in these games.
Well, you'd got Jim O'Brien back last week as well. It does feel like you're getting a few players back at exactly the right time from your point of view.
Yeah, I think the squad's in good health at the minute, and I think we've managed quite busy schedules well. We've had a few. March was really busy, and then even just recently we've had a lot of games, so we've tried to manage the squad as best we can so that we come out of it unscathed with as many fit players as possible, because I think having everybody available and all the different players' qualities available to us at key stages is going to be massive.
Yeah, I mean, how important is that going into playoff matches with that freshness to a squad, because it's right at the end of a long season, and if you've not been able to manage it and not had the fortune of getting players back, they can be a bit of tiredness at the end of a campaign, can't they?
Yeah, and I think majority of players look fresh. I mean, even Matty Palmer and Ruben went through back-to-back 90s Saturday, Monday, and the distances they covered were crazy. So I think they're in good shape. So now it's just to do our job in the next 2 games, hopefully be as placed as well as we can, and then we can focus on some really big games.
One player who's not around, of course, is Harry Arter. His loan ended this week. I know it was always until May. Some people are sort of questioning the loan signing then ending a couple of games before the end of the season. Can you explain why that is?
Yeah, when we got the option with Harry, immediately we knew that he had some things on personally behind the scenes, and that there was absolutely no way that he could do beyond this date. So we had a discussion, and it was after the Stockport game. The squad had a difficult period. We'd missed a lot of players with injury. We felt like the place was a little flat and we needed a lift, and signing somebody like Harry, we knew that we'd only have the option to have him up until this date, and we figured that having him in to give the squad a lift and give us the best possible chance of achieving the playoffs, and as high as we can in the league, would be better than not having him at all. So we always knew that it was going to end on this day. We didn't want to make that, and Forest didn't want to make that public straight away, so we just said that it was May, which it is, but now he's gone. We thank him for the work. He's been around for some important games, especially those first 3 when he came in. The Dagenham, Boreham and Chesterfield contributed a lot to those games and have helped us achieve where we are.
A couple of games left then before what we expect will be a playoff campaign, but I just wonder about the importance of finishing 5th, where you are at the moment, of getting that home quarter final. Is that something you're talking about, you're using as motivation? Is it something on your mind to ensure that, or is it just about getting into the playoffs or whatever?
Well, I mean, the key is to be in the playoffs. We're not 100% there yet, but we're very, very close now, but we still need, I think, 1 point to guarantee it. But that the possibility of a home tie in the first leg is still there, so we just have to fight firstly in the Altrincham game to be as good as we can be, to try to achieve a result, and then we kind of put it in our own hands. That's all we can do. So I think we just focus on this next game to be as good as it possibly can be. After that we focus on Maidenhead, and I think if we do a good job in these 2 games we'll be well placed, and then the draw is going to fall how it's going to fall. Ultimately, if you want to get out of this league, you're going to have to play in some big games against good teams and succeed. So then we have to be focused on that.
You've had a game on Monday night where you've been utterly frustrated, but I wonder how much of a different kind of game you're expecting this weekend.
Yeah, more open, I would think. Every time we've played Alti, they've they're a good team on the ball. They want to pass the ball. They want to play. The front four are always a threat. Wingers coming inside, and they've got good attacking threats in there. So I'm sure they won't just sit back. We've played a couple of games now against teams that have, had a strategy, which is fair enough, and they've played very low and killed a lot of the space, and we've had to be patient and be frustrated at times. I think Alti will come out and be a bit more open and try to attack us a little bit more. Probably be an open game. We'll have to defensively be more astute, but I think there'll be a bit more space on the pitch.
It's kind of what you want, isn't it? You want those more competitive fixtures, especially with presumably a playoff campaign just around the corner. You want to kind of finish with a couple of competitive games.
Oh yeah, I mean we want that challenge that is maybe a closer reference to what we might face. I think Alti have got nothing to lose when they come here, so I'm sure they don't just sit back. I'm sure they're coming out to have a go at us, and I think that's I'm happy with that as a situation. We're going to have to deal with what they bring, and we're going to have to try to play with a bit more pressure on us from the opponents. I think they'll step a little bit higher, and we'll have to deal with that.
Just finally, last week you were on Monday. You were rather frustrated by some of the noises you were hearing from some supporters in the crowd. This is the final home game now of the season, and a game that you need to win. I just wonder what your message would be to supporters ahead of this one.
I mean, first of all, our supporters have been amazing all season, home and away. When Meadow Lane's rocking, it really is rocking. But I'm also conscious that we're at a point of the season that there is a lot of tension on every game, and frustration is easy to creep in, and that can go onto the pitch and sometimes from the pitch on the stands. We have one game left at home, maybe two, if we do it right now. And the fans are so valuable to us. And I think that there can be times during these games where maybe we're not at our best, maybe we're not quite there, but we just need everybody behind us now. It gives us such a lift. When the stadium's rocking, even if the fans feel like we're struggling on the pitch, they can turn this around for us. And we know how valuable they are, and I think that's the point I wanted to make, that their importance in our success is huge. And we need that positivity, and hopefully that can convey out onto the pitch and give the players a lift, because I think this group of players is working so hard for the club. They're a brilliant group of lads. I think they're great ambassadors for the club, and they really, really deserve the support now going into these late stages. We're sitting fifth in the league. They're giving everything they've got. If we can get an atmosphere around the ground, I think it's going to be incredible.